Is life on the homestead always happy, fun-loving, and carefree? What do you think? Here's the deal. You just never know what life's going to throw you, so it's always important to do what you want to be doing when you want to be doing it. What am I talking about? This video is inspired by our friends Doug and Ashley, and they're homesteaders, and their channel is out in the country, and I'll put it up here and down in the description so you can check out their channel. They're a young couple that decided to homestead, and they bought one homestead in Indiana, and they lived there for, I believe it was about 3 years, and they've just moved to a second, their new homestead, which is hopefully their forever homestead, up in Michigan. So check out their channel, and that's what inspired me to make this video about what life is really like. I get a lot of comments about I'm always happy in the videos, and I like to think that that's true. But, you know, homesteading is no different than any other thing in life. We've all seen those social media memes where what my mom thinks I do, what my friends think I do, what my boss thinks I do, and this is what I really do. It's all how you react to everything around you that happens in life. And, you know, it's about dealing with what you have to deal with. And part of being self-sufficient and self-reliant is waking up to surprises and having to deal with them. 2 days ago, I woke up and went through the house, and then later in the day, it was a little while later, I needed to get something out of the utility room, and I opened up the utility room door, and we keep our kitty litter in there. I cleaned the kitty litter in the evening before I head to bed, so I know everything's okay then. And I made a cute little door through the utility room door. Luckily, the utility room door is one of those really inexpensive hollow doors, so it was real easy to make a little window through so the cats could jump in there. So anyway, I go into the utility room and I hear this sound, and I'm looking around thinking, what in the heck's going on? The temperature pressure relief valve on the water heater is letting the water out of the tank, and it goes down underneath the house. And so like steaming hot water is just running out of the top of the tank. I'm like, great, this is what I really planned to do. So I got to go and close the valves. Now we got no hot water in the house. Shut the electricity off on the panel, because the last thing you want to do is be electric heating up hot water when the water's not flowing into the tank, because that'll cause problems. So I get to spend my day, which I didn't do it that day. The next day, you know, getting in the car, driving all the way down to town. It's in another state, in about 20 miles from home. Go to the big box store. Of course, the part I need is all the way on the back wall of the store. Go decide and, you know, get the part, come all the way back home, take the tank apart. Oh yeah, walk all the way around the store and make sure to grab anything and everything you think you might need, because the last thing you ever want to do is go all the way back. So the first thing you got to do is open the hot water faucet to let off the pressure. I used a plain hacksaw blade to cut the overflow pipe in two. Then I'm removing the pipe from the valve. Then the fun part is getting the valve out of the top of the tank. And I'll be honest, this was not easy to do. I had to use both hands to get it loose. And I'm holding the camera with one hand while I'm doing this, so I actually had to do it twice. So then once you get it loose with two hands and a lot of yanking and tugging, then you crank it out by hand. And it's still pretty snug in there. You just turn it and keep going until you finally get the threads to let go and get it out. And you can see the probe, that should be white. It's really nasty. And inside it's all crudded up. So here's the new one with Teflon tape on there. There's the Teflon tape. Make sure that you wrap the threads with the Teflon tape in the direction that you're going to turn it into the hole. So now you drop it down in there. Careful to get the probe down in through the tank, and then you just thread it in, going back the other direction. Tighty-righty, turn it clockwise. Then use your wrench to crank it down in there tight. And again, I'm going to have to use 2 hands to get it all the way in there snug. And you want to make sure that it is lined up when you have it down in there all the way tight. Have it lined up with your pipe. And I went ahead and put some Teflon tape on the nut. It's really not necessary. And then I snugged it down in there with the wrench. It's just the overflow pipe. And I'm going ahead and using the cement. This is the primer cleaner. And they come all different colors. I just like the purple and the orange. But they come clear and they have different strengths. So this is just the medium, the basic purple orange. So you use the primer to get the pipe clean. And I used a little steel wool too prior to that. And then there's the cement. You don't want to use too much. This is actually kind of gooped on there. And do it in both pieces. Then you just slide the connector on. I like to give it a good twist as I put it on there. Then I'm hacksawing a piece from the pipe that I bought at the store, the correct length to get from the connector on the pipe to the piece in the valve there. And then just use the primer in both pieces, and I had already glued it in on the other end on the connector. And then use your cement. Again, trying to not use too much, just to get a nice layer all the way around with that little ball. So round and round, and hopefully not too drippy. And then a little bit in the connector. You don't want it to run out. And then this, I can't turn it because it's a piece of pipe. It's got an elbow at the other end. So all I can do is push it in straight, get it lined up, and really give it a good snug shove with 2 hands. And we're all together. Put it all back together. You know, not exactly something that makes a person happy, but it's what you deal with. And that is what life is about. So just like Doug and Ashley, and just like us, you know, we lived on a sailboat for 9 years, and now we're in our homestead, the thing is you just have to do it. One of my favorite quotes is, "Experience is a hard teacher because she gives the exam first and the lesson after." And that's really what life is. If you try and wait until you've got everything perfect, if you wait until all the lights are green, you'll never drive from one side of town to the other side of town. You can't, you know, it's good to study, it's good to ask friends, it's good to do your research, but sometimes you just have to jump in with both feet and start doing what it is that you want to do, and then figure it out as you go. Sure, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to mess up, and then you learn from those decisions, and then you make new and better decisions. But you know, you see a lot of people saying, "Oh, we're looking for that perfect 5-acre property." You just have to make decisions and decide that you're going to jump in with both feet and do what it is that you want to do. You can't wait until everything's ideal. So many people are looking for that perfect farm, looking for the perfect homestead. We want 5 acres, we want 10 acres, we want it a little bit hilly, we don't want the neighbors too close, all those things. You know, you don't really know what you want until you start doing it. And then you jump in and you start doing it, and then you learn and you say, you know, this is really great, we really like this, but you know, something else would be better. And then you may be able to fix up where you're at, but you can't just wait around, waiting, hoping that you find the absolute perfect place. Wait till your job's better, you're making a little more money, you know, wait until you got a nicer car, wait until this is paid off or that's paid off. Just get in there and do it and figure it out as you go. And then if you need to make new decisions, then you make new decisions and you move to the next homestead. So you might start out in one state and then find something down the road that's even better somewhere else. But you're progressing along and you're living life and you're being happy, even when things don't always go the way that you want them to go. When your car won't start in the morning because it's the polar vortex, and then 3 days later it's 62 degrees outside and you're sweating in your shirt, and then somebody decides to drive down the road, so what are you going to do? Start your video over again? So play with the dogs, play with the cats. Bonnie, be a good girl. Jump in and do it. Let experience be your teacher, and then just don't cry when she gives you the lesson after the exam and say, gee, I wished I'd have known that before. Be happy, be fun-loving, be carefree. Share this video with your friends so that they can get some advice and decide, what's right for them to do. And of course, remember to, over here, check out Doug and Ashley's channel out in the country. All right, happy, fun-loving, carefree, live life every day. Take it. Be happy even when you got to fix the water heater when that's not what you plan to do, or get a new battery because your car won't start in the polar vortex, and then, hauling water to your animals, and then the next day it's 62 degrees and now you got to take your shirt off, and oh my goodness. It's all fun, it's all life, it's all about living in the moment, in the present, and doing it today. Live life doing it yourself.